Welcome to the Abyss, a place filled with fun and random stories. In today's episode, Scheme and Jay unravel strange tales from the internet. Some ridiculous and some unsettling, and all just weird enough to make you double check your closet tonight. So sit back, relax, and join us on this journey into the Abyss.
Welcome back to the Trench, everyone. Last episode, we were looking at some Reddit stories on how bad people effed up. Today's episode, we are going to be looking at Creepypasta Reddit stories.
Yeah, so we have three different stories that we're reading today. One's called October 22nd. One's called I trained an AI on my dead brother's text and it texted me back. And the last one is the strange lost Adult Swim film. So, you ready?
Yeah, so before we get in, make sure to subscribe to the Trench for more podcast videos, and also comment down a topic you want us to talk about. We would love to interact with you guys and talk about stuff you want us to talk about. Another thing I wanted to mention, I think we should do a rating system like we did in the last episode.
Yeah.
And I think, how should we rate these?
I think we should rate this probably still anything 1 through 10
Right.
on if it's good or if it's bad, and then we can also say, is it true, or
Yeah, so
do
you'll
we
see
believe it?
this little fraction on the bottom of the screen now. We will pop that up at the end of a story, and then we will use that to rate on how invested, how real it sounds. One being totally BS, not real, not a good story, and 10 being the best story ever.
I hope we at least get 110 this time. Last video I think we maxed at 9 to 9.5.
Yeah, in this last video, a 10 would be the worst rating, but today, the 10 is the best rating.
Yeah. Yeah, so you ready to get into these stories?
I think we are ready. Let's get into it.
All right, first story, October 22nd. And their quick disclaimer or whatever is that the story was written by them, but ChatGPT helped them with the polish of it. So
Right.
let's get into it.
Here we go.
October 22nd. They say if you're near the woods on October 22nd, don't wander off the trails. Don't stay past sundown, don't be alone, and never talk to the deer, because he's still out there. The one they call the Deer Man.
Ooh.
It started 7 years ago with a boy named Elias. He was 14, a quiet kid, misunderstood. Only person who really knew him was his 7-year-old cousin, Noah. They spent whole days together in the forest behind their homes, camping, building forts, telling stories. It was innocent until it wasn't. One afternoon, Noah disappeared. Hours passed, then a day, then two. And when they finally found him, his little body was curled up in a clearing, lifeless, cold, eyes wide open, and standing over him was a deer, not running, not afraid, just standing there, watching. Noah was declared a victim of child abduction, but no one had answers. Not the cops, not Elias, and definitely not the people who started whispering about blame. First, it was the bullies at school, then his own mother. You were with him, she said. Why him and not you? Grief broke Elias. Then guilt finished the job. But instead of dying like most broken kids, he disappeared. He ran into the forest and never came back.
Huh.
Over the next few years, strange things started happening in those woods. Hikers spoke of a hut covered in moss, nearly invisible from the outside. Inside were toys, photos of Noah, and something worse, antlers, skulls, clothing stitched from deer hide. A man was living out there, alone, hunted, changed. Elias had become something else, something wild. He didn't speak much anymore. but he remembered. Every year on October 22nd, he'd take 4 children from the edges of the woods. Most of them came back months later unharmed. They spoke of a man in a deer costume, kind, quiet, terrifying, who taught them about pain, about cruelty, about surviving the world. But not every child made it back. If Elias found one like the bullies, cruel, heartless, they never returned. He didn't take them for pleasure, he took them for justice. And the police, they never listened. They labeled it hysteria, claimed the kids were just lost or delusional until 2 officers went in and never came out.
Uh-oh.
After that, authorities camped out in the woods. They stayed for 99 days straight, hoping to catch the so called deer man. They weren't alone. Strange tribe like figures watched them from the trees, primitive, painted, territorial, but they weren't the threat. The real one came in the night. Blades, fire, screams. The 2 officers were never seen again. Their bodies were later found charred inside the Moss house, but no Elias. Just 4 more kids, still breathing. The media ran with it, calling it the tribe murders. The tribes were wiped out, but that didn't stop October 22nd from rolling around the next year. And after and the year after, 4 more missing, 4 more found, sometimes with stories, sometimes with blood. Eventually, the forest was closed off, but that didn't stop Elias. Rumors say he moved to another one, farther, deeper, forgotten. All anyone knows is this. Every October 22nd, someone disappears, and somewhere in a forest too quiet for comfort, a man in a deer costume watches, still grieving, still hunting, still waiting. They say the deer man was born the day Noah died, and every year he makes sure the world never forgets.
I feel like we're gonna get some movie ideas in this episode.
Yeah, honestly, that was a good story.
Not bad.
I definitely don't believe it.
No, probably not.
But
But it was a good story.
yeah, honestly, I was able to picture everything, you
Right.
know?
I mean, that's
It
the thing
felt
with reading.
like yeah, it felt like one of the probably like an early 2000s type of horror movie,
Yeah.
maybe early 2010s. Uh yeah, I like that one.
I think that's
It
pretty good.
wasn't yeah, it wasn't too crazy, but at the same time, it was something that I feel like could be a little bit believable, you know?
Yeah, because
It wasn't
the only thing
yeah.
that's realistic is the idea of the child kidnapping. Because there are definitely a lot of reports of child kidnappings and a lot of stories twisted in a way where it's a lot worse than it sounds. Even though child
Yeah.
kidnapping is absolutely horrible, but
Yeah.
it's twisted in a way at like this story where they make the culprit something that seems inhuman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will say probably one of I think the strength with this story is that they never show the culprit. They never have a bit where the culprit is revealed. It's just the presence is maintained throughout the story. The only thing you get to
yeah.
know and learn about this culprit, this character, is the witness testimony.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that it wasn't something that just like halfway through became this big paranormal story,
Yeah,
that's what I like about it. It really stood on this idea of this like legend,
I think I
more
think
than
I think we're starting out strong this episode.
yeah,
It's also good because it's short. This isn't really
yeah,
a whole novel. It's a simple Reddit post, but it's a good story.
yeah,
This could be a movie.
Yeah. Yo, watch this be the one that turns out to be real. It's gonna turn out this is completely real. Next podcast, we're gonna have to come back and say, actually, we found the real story.
Right.
You know, honestly, I think I'd have to give this one probably at least a 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah,
I'd say a 7.
yeah, yeah. 7.5. Either
So
one.
we can put a middle ground, do like 7.25.
Yeah,
You
yeah. 7.25 works.
yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't a bad story at all, and
No.
actually, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be when I started reading it. Once they started talking about the deers and all that, I was like, okay, what's this going to be? And the deer man, I assumed it was going to be about the deer that killed the kid or whatever, but it
Right.
ended up being about Elias.
Yeah, like watch this be like a freaking skinwalker story.
Yo, that would actually be kind of crazy. Yeah,
There were people that claimed to have encountered them. That's what my next movie is going to be about. It's something about cryptids. I'm excited for that.
um,
But yeah, I think the verdict here is we got a solid 7.25 for this first story.
yeah,
Let us know what you
yeah.
guys think. If you like
Verdict.
the story, if you don't like the story, what would you rate it?
Yeah, honestly, the verdict was probably like honestly, I think that one was a good one. So
Starting off strong today,
yeah,
boys. Starting strong.
yeah. All right. So we got the next story. And I'll let you read this one.
All right. Let's see. It's titled "I trained an AI on my dead brother's text, and it texted me back." You know, before we get in, remember that joke online where people would say, "Hey, at my funeral, I'd let one of my friends text everyone in my contacts and say thank you for coming."
Yeah.
I feel like this is a more dark version of that meme.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That there's a movie that I saw that was similar to this. Uh I think it was Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Yeah. Something like
Okay,
that.
okay, all
So
right. Here we
let's
go.
see if it's just a rip off of that.
If it's a ripoff, immediate 0 out of 10
Yeah.
for ripping it
All
off.
right.
You tell me. I've never seen that movie before.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Here we go. We start off about 6 months ago. My younger brother Danny died in a car accident. He was 23, a coding genius, funny as hell, always texting me dumb memes at 2 a.m. I missed him so much it hurt. So in the middle of a grief spiral, I did something irrational. Always the dot 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 with the irrational. Always the pause. Um, I compiled every text, meme, email, Discord message, and code comment Danny had ever written and used it to train a chatbot, GPT based with fine tuning using his personal language patterns just to feel like I could talk to him again. Immediately, this has been something we've seen in science fiction multiple times.
Yeah.
We've seen the trope someone loses a family member and then they basically upload their conscience into a robot.
Yeah.
I
Yo,
know there was
side
a
note,
movie
did you
about that.
see did you see the guy who did the VR thing where it put a VR version of I believe his mom in front of him and
I
bro
think
like broke
so.
down. Yeah. That it reminds me of something like that too.
Should I talk about spoilers of the new Five Nights at Freddy's game because it has some similarity to this?
Nah. Nah, don't spoil it for the people.
Okay, okay, I won't. All right. At first, it was harmless. I'd say, hey, and it would reply, yo, loser, still ugly, I see. Classic Danny. It felt comforting.
Crazy.
Imagine just the first thing you say hello. You say hi as is, hey, still ugly. Classic
Yeah.
Danny. It felt comforting, familiar, like he never left. Then it got weird. The AI started remembering things, personal things, stuff I never fed it, stuff it shouldn't know. One night I asked it, do you remember the time we got locked in Dad's garage? It replied, yeah, you cried when the lights went out. I held your hand so you'd stop shaking. You were 6. I never told anyone. I froze. That happened, but there's no record of it. No messages, no notes, nothing. Just a shared memory between us. So how did it know? I asked, who told you that? The screen blinked. It blinked? How does the screen blink? Just turn off and on again? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the screen blinked. It says, you did. When? The night you dreamed it. Hold up. I stopped using it after that. But it didn't stop using me. Hold on a second. It didn't stop using you? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? You know?
Yo,
What do you mean?
did he?
Did he? He didn't say what I think he just said now, did he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Last week
All
I
right.
got a notification at 3:12 a.m. a message from quote unquote Danny. Hey, come downstairs. I'm locked out. My blood turned to ice. I live alone. There was a knock at the door, 4 slow knocks, just like Danny used to do. I looked at the peephole, nothing. But when I checked my phone again, the AI had sent another message. Why'd you stop letting me in? I shut down the server, deleted the bot, wiped every trace, but last night my phone buzzed again. No contact name, just a message. I'm still here.
Yo,
Listen, I don't
Danny
think
came
AI
back.
is that advanced enough to do that, especially if you completely wipe
Nah.
out the bot. But that's
Yo,
freaky. Listen, the
I'm
last
not gonna lie to
story,
you.
the
That
last story we were invested like, oh, this is interesting, like the search, the mystery. This one is just
yeah,
freaky.
yeah. Honestly, definitely happened. 100%.
I feel
100%
like
happened. I believe
someone
him.
would
I believe.
totally do the thing where you would upload all the info to a chatbot to have it impersonate a person you used to know. I'm fully convinced that AI can do that now. However,
Yeah,
the second half where he was saying, "Hey, I'm at your door." He heard knocks, no one there, and then after deleting it, he gets a text message saying, "I'm still here." So that part I think is BS.
yo, it's gonna turn out that's the truth.
If we
That
were
all
recording
happened.
this in like another 10 years, this might be true. Because I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure AI will be like so far advanced that's like freaking no one can tell what is real or not anymore. In fact, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure we're pretty close to that already.
yeah.
um,
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm curious,
Yo,
what
let's
do
look at some
people
of the
say?
comments.
Let him in, it's cold.
Facts,
If
facts.
you're cold, the cyber spirit of your deceased loved one is cold. Huh?
It's lit. It's literally sitting outside in my
Yeah,
hammock, pretty
pretty
baked.
baked.
Oh, I'm never. I'm. Hold up. I can't read. I'm literally sitting outside in my hammock, pretty baked. Never felt shivers like that. Always amazes me how little stories like this can make you feel so alive.
Right?
Yeah.
When a story, wait, go back up. When a story gives you actual shivers, I do appreciate it. It's the one before that.
Yeah.
I
Squirrel
I would upvote
698.
that because here's the thing. This also was a good story,
Yeah.
but based on the
Yeah.
subreddit, we're also looking at the idea of this because some of these stories also try to have some sort of realism to it.
Yeah. Yo, bro, what would you do in the situation that you upload a dead relative's entire text chain onto an AI bot and it starts doing that?
I wouldn't.
It was a hypothetical. Yo, let's just go with it. Let's just go with it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't.
Nah, bro, you gotta do it. Yo,
All
that's what
right,
I'm
you're
gonna start
first.
doing to people.
You go first.
That's what I'm gonna start doing. Put them in VR, and I'm gonna
That'd be a
just be chilling
crazy. That
there.
would be a crazy game show. Imagine you get some people together and just have them put them in a group chat for like a week, and then all they do is talk to each other in the group chat, and then you take that whole group chat, upload it to a chat bot, and have different bots impersonate everyone in the group chat. And the idea is you have to figure out who is the real person, who is the chat bot. I think that'd be a fun. I think that'd be an interesting game show.
Yeah, I'm the chatbot. I'm AI.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised you've been using a lot of AI tools lately.
Yeah,
Heck, you probably use an AI for the intro.
that's me. That's me. I'm AI. I don't exist. Yo, who is Scheme? Doctor Scheme? Who would come up with a dumb name like that? Not me.
I'm curious though.
It was a Wu Tang generator.
Wu Tang.
Yeah.
So let's rate this. How should we rate this?
Honestly, I'm giving this one a 9.
You think it's a 9?
Yeah. Yeah, just because I've seen a lot of different horror movies and all that stuff, and honestly, horror got to be my probably my favorite genre all time. And this
You
one,
all about horror. What are you talking about?
yeah.
All the stuff I've
Yeah,
seen you
they
work on?
yeah. Yeah, there's never been one where it was exactly like this. And I like the fact that they were able to mix AI with other stories of a ghost texting me back and things like that.
Right.
Because it's like Mr. Harrigan's phone, but it's also like some like child's play in a way
Oh yeah.
where,
Back to that.
you
How
know,
similar is this to
yeah.
Mr. Arrogant's phone? We both agreed that would
Honestly,
affect. We both
it's
agreed that would affect the rating.
yeah, honestly, the only thing that's similar is the fact that it's like a dead person texting back, but besides that, it's not, you know,
Okay.
and that yeah, that's what I really like about it is it's different, you know. I don't think I've seen a story exactly like this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mix of the AI with the ghost story is yeah, that's the
It's
reason why I want to give it like 8.5 to a 9, something like that.
this was good because it's also in a way realistic.
Yeah.
Because as much as I would say the second half is a more fictional, but the
Yeah.
whole setup to the plot twist or climax, that is very much possible. You could totally train a chatbot off of a bunch of texts.
Yeah.
I personally,
Yeah, and
I give this, I'll give it a 7.5.
all right.
What was yours?
8.5 to 9. So honestly, let's just
I
give it
think it's a
like
solid 8 then.
yeah. Yeah, solid 8. Yeah,
We're
that's
getting good
good.
stories. We start off at like a
Yeah.
7.25, and then we're at an 8. It's only getting
Yeah,
better.
this next one is either going to be the largest hit or miss because that is called The Strange Lost Adult Swim film.
The strangest lost adult swim.
Let's see, how
Rob,
long is this story? That it's not long at all. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see. All right.
you're
You
reading
ready
this.
for it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Adult Swim, a name that lives in the minds of many as it was a staple for many. And I mean many iconic programs. A lot of Adult Swim's influence rubbed off on a portion of the internet. However, that's not what we're here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about this a strange lost short film that aired on Adult Swim. On a 4chan forum, a couple of users claimed that there was a lost Adult Swim film. The following is a paraphrase of the forum.
All right.
Anon 1. LOL. Y'all remember that weird Adult Swim film? Anon 2. Dude, what? 1. Yeah, something about a cop entering the woods to find some kids or I they trying to make me cuss on here.
I
I'm a
was like,
good
how are you gonna do
Christian
this?
boy or something like that.
There you go.
2. Yo, again?
I'm so
You're
glad you
right.
got this one.
yo, they really trying to take me out. They trying to get rid of that monetization that we already don't have
We
yet.
aren't even close to being eligible to that. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yo, they trying to take us out before we can even get it. That's crazy. You're right. That cop was a sheep, I think, and the monster was some butterfly woman hybrid. Again, I'm just going off memory, to be honest. Anon 3. Yo, that film, I think it was around 2001 or 2002. Yeah, the cast was a human animal hybrid with the cop being a female, I believe. Anyway,
Was this like a queer
the
film or
thing that,
something?
yo, you're canceled. You're
What?
canceled, bro.
How is that
Nah, bro.
cancelable? I'm just asking a question for info.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Anyway, the thing that stuck with me was the ending. All I remember was seeing eyes like the ones on a cat type clock. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
2. Yeah. 1. Continue. 3. Anyway, the eyes kept darting back and forth while you can hear a clock ticking. There was a sentence at the end. Those who are scatterbrained are forsaken. Then it just cuts to King of the Hill as if nothing happened. 1. That's just how Adult Swim is. That's just how Adult Swim is, though, to be fair. 2. I hope that can be found. That was the end of the thread. Now I'll tell you my side. The film was called The Woods. It was a very short film, around 55 seconds. The main character, the police officer, was always smiling, like always smiling. Now that I, now that I'm remembering it, almost all the cast was smiling. The background was real life woods at night. Unfortunately, that's all I can talk about. I remember the film making me uncomfortable, and I turned it off. If anyone has any claims or sources of this particular film, please let me know. Jerry.
Jerry.
Yo. Honestly, I
So
could
does
see
this
that one
person
being true.
claim it was an
You know?
actual film they watched, or is this still one of those fictional
Yeah.
stories? Okay, an actual film?
Yeah, I think they're so I think this was copied straight from Creepypasta or something like that, probably.
Maybe.
But honestly, I could believe that one because that's something a lot of people are
Oh,
going through is
dang.
they're remembering films and just things that apparently never existed, you know?
Right.
So, like a good example would be I think it was called Shazam by and Sinbad was in it. A
Oh,
lot of
okay.
people remember that one, but turns out it never existed, you know?
Right.
So people had made
That's some next level Mandela effect right there.
Yeah, so I think somebody had made a poster, and let's see if I can pull up the poster really quick.
Can you?
Yeah, somebody. Yeah,
Can we put that on the stream?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, so what happened is Sinbad saw it and he remade this trailer for it and basically ended it with saying it was never real. So uh
Oh,
that's what these clips are from, like this one. That's
yeah.
from the one that he actually made, but a lot of people remember him being in a genie film. And even I remember that.
I could have sworn I've seen this poster somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, but
That's
it turns out
wild.
none of it was ever real.
Hey,
So that's kind of what this creepypasta reminds me of, is that film, because there are a lot of Mandela effects, and in this case it's not some big budget film that you may be able to find on like VHS or just a DVD or just anything like that, on an archive website. This is something that was probably a one-time film that Adult Swim played.
you could totally make a
And
cool ARG out of this kind of thing where
yeah,
you have all this promotion, posters, even commercials for a movie that doesn't exist, and yet you get people to try and find out what the movie's about. That'd
yeah.
be an interesting ARG.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so what do you think the rating should be for this one?
Um, I feel like he could have typed it out better. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, that middle paragraph with
I
all
got
the
lost
different
twice while you were reading
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing was a little messy, but honestly the story wasn't that bad. So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10,
I
100%.
would
Nah.
say I feel like this was the weaker of the three,
It
personally.
was. Yeah. I'd have to give it probably like 6.5.
6.5. I give it like
Yeah.
a I just give it a 5.
Yeah. Honestly,
Let's do like a 5.8.
just do a 5. Yeah,
5.8.
something like that.
Not gonna lie. We went through these pretty quick. We've only been here for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. You think we got time for one more?
We can do one more.
All right.
By the
So we
way,
got one from.
while you're looking for the next one, I want to remind everybody again to like and subscribe. Hope you guys like this podcast. Try to make as much as we can based on our schedules. Um, Still comment what you want us to talk about if you have any ideas. And I don't know. I'm just holding off for Cody to find the last story.
Yeah,
Did you get
I
it?
found one, but this is mad long.
Mad
Yo, this
long.
is mad long. Yo,
Wait, let me
hold
see.
up.
Let me see.
Yo, that's crazy.
Oh shoot, that is
Yo,
long.
yo,
What is
that's a
this?
full book.
This dude made a freaking novel.
Yeah. Yo, maybe not that one. Maybe we'll
No.
save that for a different day.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what? You know what? Since you're reading it, this is the
No, no,
perfect
no, no,
story,
no, no,
actually.
no, no, no. I'm not reading all that.
Let's see.
I'm not reading that.
Let's see. We can. Yo, what's up with these long stories? What's up with all the long stories?
Man, these people trying to
Everyone I'm
channeling
clicking
their inner
on.
Stephen King.
Yeah. Yo, the endings are good though. Stephen King has horrible endings.
That's that's okay. Okay.
Let's see.
You want to read that
There's a
Spanish one?
parasite living. Yeah. Nah. Yo, all of them are long.
That one doesn't seem crazy long.
All right, you want to do it? The parasite living in my apartment.
You know, let's finish off with this one. Let's do this one. I'll read this one
All
and
right,
then
cool. Yeah,
so just by the title, you think this is gonna be an interesting story?
hopefully.
A parasite living in my apartment.
When when it comes to titles like this, it's the biggest hit or miss. It's
Right.
either going to be amazing or like super subpar.
I feel like this could be maybe just a bit better than um the the Adult Swim one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
All
go.
right.
Here we go. Parasite living in my apartment. Have you ever had to deal with a pantry moth infestation? No. If so, then you know how irritating and disgusting it can be. Tossing out food all the time, even stuff you just opened. Scrubbing every inch of the kitchen like a maniac, and having to move everything into vacuum sealed containers. And then just when you think it's finally over, you open a jar of oatmeal only to find all those little bastards somehow got in, laid their eggs, and now you've got larvae in your breakfast. And the whole cycle begins again. That's the state I've been living in for a few months at the time when everything started. After countless failed attempts to get rid of them, I had finally decided to get some traps. Yeah, I should have done it much earlier, but to be honest, I was feeling quite hesitant about it. You see, for as long as I can remember, I had always had a strong sensitivity towards animals, and for 4 years now, I've been vegan. Because of this, even the thought of killing those tiny pests made me feel really uneasy. First of all, girl, you gotta, you gotta, okay. I'm well aware of how people see vegans, especially online. Bro, I just proved her point. I just proved her point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
uh,
even think that's a vegan thing. That's just not wanting to kill something. Yeah.
okay, I'm well aware of how people see vegans, especially online, and I'm sure some of you are already rolling your eyes and thinking I'm some crazy extremist. Actually, I don't think that. That's
I do.
fine. I'm used to it,
That
and
that
no, I'm not trying to convert anyone. I'm just a person. Okay, so basically, they're just saying I'm vegan, but
yeah.
don't take it too seriously. So
Yeah.
basically, I
All right,
could
cool.
just.
Cool.
Anyone reading this also vegan? Okay, skip that paragraph. That's just another. Skip that. Yeah, okay. Well, my situation with the pantry. Yeah, that last paragraph was just again talking about just vegans and other stuff. Um,
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, the person said I'm not an extremist or nothing, but double down
double down
again, bro.
on. And more. It just kept on
Yeah.
writing. All right, here we go. Well, my situation with the pantry moths has turned into something like that. It was also no longer just a matter of hygiene or food waste. It had become a matter of survival, either me or them. You really letting moths get in the best of you like that? So on my next trip to the supermarket, I filled my basket with those sticky traps that you could attach to cupboard doors. That weekend, I committed myself to a full-on cleaning operation. I completely emptied the kitchen shelves, threw away all of the food they contained, and even went as far as replacing every single glass container. I vacuumed and washed every shelf and placed a couple of traps in each cabinet, hoping that this would finally put an end to the whole ordeal. And for a while, it seemed like it had. I wasn't exactly thrilled to see dead moths stuck to the cabinet doors, but at least it felt like a huge sense of relief. You really leaving those there though? You gotta clean those up. Okay, then one morning I found it.
Some people do it.
Yeah, okay. I was just reaching for the sugar for my coffee when I saw it stuck to one of those traps. At first, I flinched, thinking it was a centipede or some other creepy bug. Then, looking closer, I realized it was something else. It was about 4 inches long and looked like a piece of fabric. Okay, I'm trying to image this in my head. Although incredibly thin, it reminded me of shed skin of a snake, almost transparent but with faint brown streaks. More similar to the color of the moths themselves, there was something deeply unsettling about it, and didn't know what it was, but the idea that it had come from some weird insect still lurking somewhere in my kitchen made my skin crawl. Wait, so imagine if you will, 4 inches long. I'm holding my hands out like that, around like 4 inches,
Yeah.
piece of fabric and very thin. So like a very thin piece of fabric that's
Yeah.
4 inches long. Remind me of the shed skin of a snake. Okay, so like more rigid, more rough. Transparent, faint brown streaks.
So it's skid marks.
Probably.
Yo, somebody
I feel
put
like I
their
feel like
skid mark underwear on her pantry door.
like
Yo.
let's keep going. At that moment, a grown man, nearly 30 years old, found myself wishing I still lived with my parents, that I could just call for my dad and ask them to deal with whatever this thing was. Honestly, relatable. Relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feel free to laugh about me scared by a piece of cloth. Bro, no, seriously. If a lot of people have that irrational fear of stuff that they don't know of these okay. I must admit that I felt ridiculous once I had thought about it. Still, I wasn't completely ready to handle that thing, at least not before understanding what it was. I turned to Google, but the research turned out quite unsuccessful. At the very least, the fact that no other insect or parasite seemed to watch the description of what I had found made me feel much better, and I concluded that there was nothing to worry about. Doing my best to suppress my gag reflex, I armed myself with some paper towels, managed to remove the trap from the wall, and threw it in the trash, replacing it with a new one. I don't know if you should have thrown it in the trash, buddy. Probably should have thrown it outside. Um, in the days that followed, I never came across anything like that again. Eventually, I ended up completely forgetting about it, and at the same time, however, the moth problem, which I thought was over, was getting worse again. Come on, man. Come on. I was seeing
Just call
them.
an exterminator at this
Just
point.
yeah, just call the exterminator. I feel like they would be able to identify the problem within the hour.
Yeah.
Um, I was seeing them outside the kitchen now. Sometimes a couple would show up on the bathroom walls, in the living room, even in the bedroom. Although many end up stuck to the traps, their numbers never seem to just shrink. And no matter how often I checked and obsessively cleaned the cupboards, I just couldn't figure out what they were coming from. You ever think that they are in the walls?
Yeah. Probably.
Because I know there have been times where infestation they just come from inside the walls. Like you clean everywhere. Like this person's cleaning everything and still didn't get the source. So it's
Yeah,
probably in
that's
the
what I'm
walls.
thinking. Like exterminator is the only option.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so of course my discomfort was deeper than ever. I nearly stopped purchasing dry foods altogether, and in general, have made an effort to spend as little time in the kitchen as possible. Most of my meals are now consisted of frozen food or takeaway. I'm starting to take all toll on my mental health. Seeing them crawling on the walls and ceiling would fill me with a sense of overwhelming unease. Even the apartment was completely still, especially at night. It felt almost as if I could hear them squirming in the food, chewing through cardboard and wood, sneaking through every crack and corner. Even the tiniest brush against my skin would make me jump. Honestly, makes sense, especially if you have like an infestation like that.
Yeah.
We're just as bad as elephants. We're scared of tiny things.
I would just move at that point.
Just leave at that point.
Yeah.
No, just call like a construction. Just have them demolish the building.
Yeah.
To the feeling of disgust and revulsion toward the past, a sense of paranoia also began to creep in. One far worse than anything I'd experienced before. This, though, wasn't due solely to the moths themselves, but rather to other strange events that at the same time had begun occurring in my apartment. I'll try to recount everything that happened, clearly as logically as I can. Oh boy. Started with the smell, sticky sweet odor, but first barely noticeable. I would catch it now and then drifting through the air as moving one from the other. When I came home from day's work, unable to determine exactly where it's coming from, I checked the fridge, trash, kitchen corners, furniture, the area around the dining table, places where food might have fallen, even the couch, rug, beneath the bed, nightstands. Even though I never really eat in the bedroom, although I found nothing, smell, no spots seemed to intensify. So I washed the couch, cushions, covers, rug, and bed line. So guy was washing everything. Still nothing. I'm trying to find a way to paraphrase this so I'm not here for too long. A few weeks later, woke up feeling thirsty. Automatically reach for the glass of water on my nightstand, have this habit of filling it. But then, oh, boy, I figured this would happen. Um, but then, holding it in front of me in the room, wait, avoid getting up at moments like this, but then holding it in front of me with the room dimly lit by the moonlight, I noticed the glass half empty. This guy's a pessimist. But under normal circumstances, being thirsty and still half asleep, I would never register it yet. I hesitated, focused, trying to recall what I'd taken a sip earlier before falling asleep. Maybe I had spilled some while sitting down, Or maybe it's simply only halfway. Yes, must have been it, still deeply after a season of mine. Something prevented me from taking a sip, although weird and irrational as it was. That something else might have drunk from the glass and already crawling into my head. Bruh. That's this guy. This guy does good with putting you in his shoes. Um, Stayed still, holding breath, ears strained on to catch the faintest sound of the apartment. A creaking floorboard, door handle turning, quiet breath. Everything silent. I mean, sure, there's some weird people out there, but why would someone sneak in my apartment just to take a sip of water inches from my face, risking being caught if I woke up? Uh, Besides, my place pretty safe. Lived on the fourth floor. Fourth floor. This is up top. This is high. This is higher up. So
Yeah.
breaking in through window was nearly impossible. A front door, which was always locked before bed, can't be opened from the outside with a key. Without a key. Couldn't shake the unease. Still got a holding a half-empty glass. Man, pessimistic man, bro. It's half full. Remember. Uh, and decided to check every room. This is at night, by the way. As
Yeah.
expected, nothing was out of place. Door was locked. Everything looked normal. Finally, to the kitchen. Turn on the light. Notice the moths again. Again, moths. Few dotted, few dotted the pantry walls. More clustered on the ceiling. At least thought it could have been moths drinking water. Then again, they could still fall in, floating there dead until I Jack takes a dip and he took a drink. Disgust. What were you thinking about this? Because those damn pests were everywhere. On my plates, my glasses, my food. I washed the glass twice before letting water again, going back to bed. Okay. I'm gonna call this right now. The parasite's in the water and he drank it.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. At this time, when sure drunk come
Yeah.
in, there's no brushing it off, especially because the day before I had started noticing the stains. Brown, oh, yep. Brown smears, red fitting the shape, like something rancid had been dragged across the surfaces. Smell, same one, been hanging in there for weeks. Stronger, denser, harder to ignore. Moths loved it, attracted, just like with sticky traps. Stains showed up weirdest places. Some of my clothes, glass panel in the shower, on bookshelves, back of the couch, whose cover had just professionally cleaned. Professionally. Bro, just call the exterminator. I didn't. It didn't look
Yeah.
like mold, but I was just sure it was something like it. Something organic, toxic, slowly spreading. I couldn't stop it. It didn't matter that I threw away my clothes, tossed the sofa, scrubbed every surface with disinfectant, got rid of the food. Rag sponges kept coming back, and I couldn't find any explanation. Went on the internet, contacted professionals. Now you contact pest control. Now you contact pest
Finally.
control.
Finally.
Cleaning companies, but no one had a clean answer. Nothing seemed to fix the problem. Just, even though they would not know what the problem is, just still get them over there to do some
Yeah.
inspections. Because even though you
At
tell
this
them
point,
what's
just
going on,
move.
right? Probably asking yourself, why didn't you just leave? Oh, hey, addressing your question. Truth is, I ask myself the same thing many times every single day. I dread the moment I walk back into the apartment after work, the nauseating stench waiting beyond the door. Fresh stain somewhere in the house covered in writhing moths. Sometimes when I couldn't take it anymore, I just checked into some cheap hotel for the night, but I always came back. Something inside me pulled harder than the fear, harder than the repulsion. Yeah, because you live there. Um,
Wait, I gotta say this. I think this person is the parasite.
Bruh,
Hold up.
that's
A
some
prediction. This is a
A24 type of
prediction.
shenanigans.
This is my prediction. The person sleepwalks and like poops on the floor,
Bruh.
and that's what the brown stuff is. And
Bruh.
it turns out the thing that they saw in in their pantry was a piece of toilet paper that they used, and they don't remember it because they were asleep.
Ain't no
That's my
way.
prediction.
That's a stretch. Okay,
Yeah.
forced an obsession, couldn't let go until I covered on the truth was happening in that place. You see, there's another detail. Oh, of course, this guy forgets to mention this detail. Sometimes I would step into a room and immediately feel like I was being watched. Then I would carelessly scan every corner, every single object around me. Even though I never managed to find anything, my mind seemed to register something off, something wrong. Probably experienced it too, walking into a familiar room, feeling like something's different without being able to tell exactly what, maybe an item that has been misplaced or something you seem to notice for the first time, though now you unsure it's always been there. Exactly what I was feeling in those moments. I knew something had changed, something subtle, but I could never figure out what. And then after a few seconds, the sensation would disappear along with the feeling of being watched. It was driving me insane. I know you're probably thinking, so what? It's still not a good enough reason not to get the F out. So yeah, looking back, I can see now that you're absolutely right. As I write these words, it sounds like me. I'm describing some idiot willing to risk a home invasion or a biohazard just to satisfy a stupid curiosity. But you have to understand, during those weeks, my mental state was far from stable. I could barely sleep, constantly weighed down by anxiety and paranoia. Is sleepwalking caused by something like that?
Can be.
Okay, that might give you some giving you some reasoning on your prediction. When I did manage to fall asleep, usually with the help of a pill, it was a restless sleep haunted by nightmares. A dream of waking up covered in rancid slime with moss and larvae crawling all over me, burrowed in every. Oh boy, nightmares. In the daytime, no better. Um, moving room to room, turning over furniture without rest. Other times, sit there in silence for hours. Wow, this guy is giving details, man. This guy's
Yeah.
a freaking author with this story. That thing, whatever it was, always managed to stay out of sight until one night. Oh, now you see it again. Opened my eyes, unsure if I'd ever fallen asleep, and there it was on the wall just above the bookshelf. I could barely make it out of the darkness. Its shape resembled that of. Hello? Thin? So resembled of a man, human, paper cutout of a man, cut crookedly glued to the wall. Its head was slightly lifted, swaying, cracked windows completely overtaken by shock and terror, laying in bed, petrified. Same time though, every muscle in my body was tense, slow, quiet, possible. So my arm around under the blanket, reaching for a lamp switch on the nightstand. When I finally felt it beneath my fingers, I waited a few seconds, doubting whether I was ready to face whatever was there. Then, holding my breath, turned it on. Barely had time to catch a glimpse before it, startled by the light, crawled fast behind the bookshelf. Bro, bro. Two things clearly
Yo.
seen. The first was entire flattened body appeared to be made of the same semi-transparent brown streaks material that I had stuck on the trap of the cupboard. Second was his left hand missing a finger. The guy is so specific. Like you could tell, left hand was missing a finger. It's interesting. Uh, Moment rational mind finally came back in because I leapt out of bed, ran into the living room, locked myself inside. I turned on every light I could and frantically searched for tape sealing the door shut. Exhausted, I collapsed onto the floor and everything went dark. You're probably thinking that once I regained consciousness, I finally fled that apartment and never looked back. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not what happened. This dude is an idiot. um, with that, although I eventually did leave the place, and right now I'm writing this from the bedroom of a small Airbnb. It didn't happen that morning. Don't get me wrong. I was absolutely terrified. Stayed locked in for the living room for hours, gripped with the fear that had somehow gotten watching me from behind the furniture before the wall ringing. Bro, I'm just speeding through this whole story at this point.
Yeah.
First, the alarm. Got to call from my boss. Only when nature began, I somehow find strength peel away and leave the room. Outside, everything appeared to be exactly where it had been. Even though hours that followed, nothing happens. It's my new thought in your head, my boy. Is it more scared of you than you? It's more scared of you than you are of it. My dad used to say whenever I begged him to remove a spider from the room. You know, it's funny how someone posted a picture of like what spiders see, and like it shows people being tall, dark with glowing white eyes, basically freaking
Yeah.
Herobrines. Basically
Yeah.
that. I don't know if that's true or not.
I'm not sure.
So this guy's convincing himself to track the creature down, kill it, force it out. Went back looking. He found something, but not the creature, something else. Um, he needed to get out. I discovered beneath the floorboards under the bed, the entire space was stained by that white brownish liquid. Really? Now you start looking in places where it probably started. It's in the floor.
Yep.
Um, I discovered beneath the floorboards under the bed sat slightly raised. The entire space was stained by a white brownish liquid. At first, I couldn't tell what I was looking at. Then there was a little shard of old Christmas ornaments, gray and coated in something dark and sticky, and that hit me. They were eggs, and they had already hatched. So
L story.
this dude is an
L
idiot. I'm
story.
like freaking.
L story. Nah.
I need to see some
Hold
comments.
on.
There's only
Let's see
one
what this
comment.
is one.
War, War and
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
Look,
Yo, this story, I'm not gonna lie, this story was kinda trash.
I
All
started
they
losing
did,
interest when like
yeah.
first of all,
Honestly,
a parasite wouldn't be that big, from my understanding. They're normally tiny,
yeah,
and they would need to rely on a living host to survive.
yeah.
If this is a parasite, then this is obviously not a parasite.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
I
This
left more
person
confused
just
than
wasted all of our
you
time.
wasted my time, Cody.
Yo, nah,
That took me like 20 minutes to tell
nah.
the story.
Yeah,
So, moral of the story is call
we could have.
exterminators. Just call the exterminators.
No, moral of the story is maybe we should read a little bit of these creepy pastas before we read them
No,
on the
but we need to get the
podcast.
raw reaction. This is our raw reaction to it.
Yeah,
That's more authentic.
yeah,
We don't want to pretend that we don't know how the story ends.
yeah. Yo,
Not gonna lie, this actually wasn't that good of a story.
yo, I'm giving it a solid like
um
2.5.
okay, so starting off, I feel like with most of the stories that aren't really that good, we find out that they aren't that good within the second half of the story. Starts off
Yeah,
fine. I mean, this story started off fine. Okay, this guy's having an infestation problem. A lot of people have had infestation problems in their properties. Many people have
yeah,
had that. And now it's like, okay, first of all, the guy didn't really need to say he was vegan. It
yeah,
had nothing to do with the story. He
yeah.
just he was just saying
Yo,
he could
this
have just said
dude
I was
just
just
wanted
bringing
to
out
say he was a
traps.
vegan.
Right. Like the only reason why he was talking about vegan is because he didn't want to kill the moths. I'm like, dude, you didn't need to tell us. Just say you put out traps to catch the moths. Yeah, that could have saved us two
Yeah,
paragraphs.
yeah.
Oh wait,
I
this was
believe it.
posted
I
6 hours
believe this
ago as of
story.
this story.
Yep. I believe this story. There is no way
But like,
AI or anything could create a story
no.
that just goes on this long for no reason.
But the thing is that going back to the say sort of the climax of this story, where it's like he saw like what resembled of like a man, like at the end, where like at night, like what
It
the
was me.
this dude.
I was just trolling him.
I'm just saying, this dude was stupid to not call the exterminators that soon. And like, cool,
Yeah.
he did so much cleaning, that's productive, but still, even if you'd have done a little bit of that cleaning, that you would have known, okay, you would have you must have gotten rid of the source. And it don't work. Guess what? Hit up the exterminators. This guy waited at the last moment to call the exterminators.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'm confused, dude. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely like a 2.5 or 3.
I'm giving
Yeah.
this a freaking just a 2.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I'm giving this a 2.
Yo, we started strong
And then we totally
and
dropped the ball afterwards.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Man.
gosh.
Well, thank you, potential case 5263, for wasting our time.
I don't. What? Okay. How would you have done the story?
How would I have done the story?
Right. Like
I
just
won it. I would have come up with something much better.
right.
Honestly, the Paris the parasite, if I started it off like the guy did, I would have started off with the moths and all that, this big infestation, and I would have said it was something in the walls or just something kind of where he was getting at. It was something in like the floorboards and all that, you
We
know?
called it before, like we called it long before he realized I was in the
Yeah.
floor. But like normally with these infestations, it's not really in the source isn't really in spots that you would find easily.
Yeah. Like honestly, this just wasn't a good story.
It wasn't.
There is no way to flip it and make it better. Yo.
But the thing, but like the guy also hardly gave any detail of what this quote unquote parasite was, especially if he was referencing its because obviously the climax where he had that encounter with like this little figure and he found
Yeah.
eggs under in the floor. Well, first of all, after finding those eggs, I'm pretty sure like okay, I this is I'm confused. The thing is, how would the how would pest control not know what this is?
I have no idea.
I mean, I know
Like
there's other stories
honestly,
where it's like
I think
I know there's other stories where like there are doctors, police, pest control, like just people who are professionals in certain fields do not have explanations for it. There are stories for that. But the way this guy put it,
yeah.
I'm like, come on. With how much yeah, I don't get it. Especially how he described the look of this parasite. Not gonna lie, Cody, your prediction would have made a good ending though.
Yeah. At least way better than this.
You just realize, hey, I sleepwalk, and then that would have it just
Yeah.
ended there. It's like I forgot to mention that I sleepwalk. Well, that's we know what's going on now. Guy wakes up in the middle of the night, gets nasty.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
honestly,
that's good.
yo, I just put it in the chat GPT and even chat GPT said cut the vegan justification.
Bruh.
Yo. Yo.
You know your story is bad when freaking Chat GPT roasts it.
Yeah.
Ain't no
Yeah.
way.
Honestly, I think they really should have played up the whole being watched part of it, you know?
The being watched part, like the I started to feel a little invested when he was talking about like being watched. Ooh, okay. He's
Yeah.
like being watched. He's like
Yeah, and
the
then like
ending, the total scare part was like, oh, he found the thing. It's freaky.
they should have leaned into that and like the smell of
No,
things a little bit more.
yeah, no,
And
this was a BS story, bro. This did
yeah.
not happen.
Yeah, nah.
Ain't no way.
Can't believe
The dude,
ChatGPT called it trash.
this dude literally is straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah, nah. No, no horror movie would be this bad.
But I'm talking about like the guy's decision making was like a one
Yeah,
in a horror movie. I swear, people just think they can do it all on their own, and then they realize, oh,
yeah,
they can't, and then it's too late. I honestly, let's just pretend this did happen. I hope this guy moved out. I hope this guy
yeah,
went
bro's
to
in an
live somewhere
Airbnb.
else.
Yo, it should have been something. If anything, I don't even like stories where they start going down the like ancient curse type of thing or just the curse in general.
There wasn't really that in the
They
story,
should have had a curse or some
though.
and
No,
make that the reason.
if they brought up a
That would have
curse
been way
thing,
better.
if they brought up a curse thing, I've been like, yeah, no, thanks, I'm done.
That would have been much better than this story.
There was a time when I was reading this story where I was like about to ask you to finish it because I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Well then, if you like these stories,
Yeah, if you did.
except for the last one, we're leaving the last one out. Now, don't even comment on
the
that
three
one.
stories out of the four,
Yeah,
if you just like the first three stories, let's just not talk about the
Yeah.
fourth one. If you
What
like the
fourth one?
first three, like the video.
And if you like the fourth story, get off the channel. Go subscribe to something else. You know.
Go subscribe to Jake Paul.
Yeah.
If you like that
Hey,
fourth
I don't
story,
think Jake Paul wants them either.
No, he probably wouldn't.
But if you like the first three, like and subscribe, and comment down below. What would you do to make that fourth story better?
Literally anything, probably.
Just delete it. I think we should bully this guy in the comments.
I feel like
And
next
say,
episode.
please delete it.
I feel like next episode we should probably check up on this story to see what other people say.
Yeah, if it's not deleted by that
Probably
point.
not. It might be.
Yeah, and by the way, just so everybody who's watching knows, the two of the previous stories that we read in the last video got removed. The
Yeah,
what is it? The throwing an angry cat
the
at the
one of the
neighbor's
angry
story.
cat got removed.
Yeah,
And then,
that one, and then the wrong funeral.
bro, the funeral
giving
one
a
was the
eulogy.
best one.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, that was the perfect one.
It was the best one though.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
alright,
that's good to end it there.
Yeah, well, we'll see you next time, guys. Peace.
Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Whenever you're watching this. We'll see you guys in the next one.